perhaps the most important match for both of these teams, as these are currently the two teams in contention for the second seed in Never Back Down. Of course, both of them have losing records, but hey, it is what it is. You might have losing records, you're both 1 and 2 teams, but you still are the two teams that have the best chance at getting second seed for Never Back Down. Moldy Milkers pretty much is already out of the race already, being an 0-4 team, so it's MicroFish and Blazing Magi for that second seed. This is really going to be, this is going to decide the seed, so very important matchup for me as well as like MicroFish. Whoever wins this is more than likely going to also win that second seed in Never Back Down, giving themselves a chance at playoffs, even if they don't get far. Sorry, everyone. So, going to be important here. Whatever the tanks are going to be very important in this one. Okay, here we go. So let's see which one of these squads can get the job done. Very good start for MicroFish. Gonna get in there on that Cassidy immediately. Tank 2 gonna trade out the BAP, however. Very low Ash gonna be brought down by Tank 1. Torb gonna be able to trade out the Junkrat, but not gonna be quite enough as MicroFish is taking quite a substantial lead on this deathmatch so far. Great start for this Genji. MicroFish looking very powerful here. Wonderful start for MicroFish. They do have a Mauga Hog, which I do believe is better than that Ramatra. They do have one of the best tanks, currently repping them. And Baptiste and Mauga just absolutely shredding through this Blazing Magi roster. Not even close at all, however, Bap gonna fall. Deathmatch looking like a wash here for Blazing Magi. You might just want to go next, as this is looking hugely dominant. Already 16-4, a 14-point lead. Bap gonna fall, but man, that just doesn't mean that much. When you're already down 12 points, Junkrat will fall, but once again, how much does that really matter? Cassidy able to take out 2, but they are still down quite a significant margin here for Blazing Magi, just not even really close, as they are down 11. Cassidy able to pick up another one. However, Ash going to be dealt with accordingly. Torb able to find one on the back burner there, but does it really matter in the long run? It's already a 10-point lead for MicroFish. However, Malgat's going to fall in his own cage. Kiri going to go down in her ultimate as well. Can Blazing Magi get back into this is the question. Roadhog getting very low. He's going to fall to that Ash. Genji going to go down to Torb. 7 kills separate these teams. Junkrat traded for the Cassidy. Now it's still 7. So Blazing Magi getting back into this one, but still very much an advantage here for MicroFish. Although Blazing Magi clawing their way back into this one, kill by kill. Here they come. We are only 3 kills back now. I'm proud of my team. Hunkering down a bit. Can Kiri keep herself alive? She does. Cassidy able to pick up one. Malga's very much a threat. Ramatra probably going to fall here, so 4 kills separate. Make that 3. Make that 2. Blazing Magi getting back into this one with that turret in the center. Bob going to come through. Can Bob get some kills? Bob going to find this Bap and the Junkrat. If he can help find this Roadhog, which he will, we are only 1 kill separated now. Blazing Magi really earning their place in this matchup. Only 1 kill separates these squads right now, and now it's tied again. Blazing Magi coming back into this with a vengeance. 30-30 eats anyone's game now, really. Cassidy going onto this Junkrat. Probably going to lose that one. Junkrat very strong DPS to 1v1 against. And, well, okay, looks like MicroFish are going to take control of this one. MicroFish doing a very good job just staying with their tanks. Fortunately, Ash kind of getting picked off a little bit alone here. Here comes the Roadhog ultimate. Ash able to find BAP before falling, but only 5 kills needed here for MicroFish, and they could very well come away with this one. 4 kills separate these teams, or 3 kills separate these teams. 4 from victory, 3 from victory make it, and Matra looking like that next kill. Looking like a juicy target here. Kiri looking even more juicy. Does step in the trap. Can she get out with her life? She does, just barely. Rom gonna get on this Junkrat. Can they finish off this rat before he finishes off something scary? Comes the Riptire. That could be it. Only 1 kill remaining here, and they're gonna find it. So a 1-0 lead for MicroFish, but an insanely close deathmatch. Blazy Magi made that one look a lot closer than you would have initially thought. I think this is shaping up to be one heck of a series. We'll have to see. Of course, MicroFish just got out of winning a 3-2 against No Defunks, so we'll have to see how they match up against each other here. Going into this next map, Blazy Magi, you just gotta hope you don't get a death match. Those seem to be awful to go. Okay, another death match, of course. Never mind. Guess we're cooked, chat. As we go into another death match against a tankier composition. It's just hard to win 1v1s against something with more HP when you get stuck in those 1v1s. Really, it is an advantage to have a tanky roster in these deathmatch maps. Even more so than normal. Have to see if Blazy Magi can make something happen here, though. Gonna get the Hog. That is a huge pickup. So now we have the Hog on our side. Cassidy starting that with a great pickoff. Gonna hog. He's gonna hog the Mauga. 3v3 out here. A bunch of different characters. Ash and Cassidy. Oh, Blazy Magi putting in work here on Hanamura, so a little different than Temple already. Genji putting in some work. Kiri gonna get out with her life. And Hog able to deal with that. Genji gonna come out here. Baptiste gonna deal with Tor, but Hog gonna deal with the Sigma Junkrat. Getting a little bit caught out alone here. He will fall. Not gonna pick up a kill with those bombs, and Hog all alone out here, but he's doing a good job of surviving, so. A much better tank than the Ramatra. He will eventually fall, but did a great job keeping himself alive. And Blazy Magi coming in to deal with these other 2 picks. Of course, the tank advantage that we got is quite massive with them getting that Sigma. See if we can really capitalize on that. Ash gonna take out the Junkrat. And it is a 5-10 game. Can Blazy Magi make this happen? Have to find out as it goes up to 11. So Blazy Magi really tearing apart MicroFish now. Mauga standing in this room. However, Torb and Hog on him. He should not be long for this world. Believe Blazy Magi might be able to make this a 1-1 game. Headed into the 3rd map as we are fully taking control now. This Hog is borderline carrying as he is just shredding things apart. I think Sigma is not long for this world as he's stuck in a bad matchup. And of course, when you get the better bot, sometimes it just results in you winning a map. I do think they kind of had that advantage on the last one. They did get Hog on the last one. Now we get Hog on our team. Completely shifted the narrative of this matchup. As now Blazy Magi have a bigger lead than MicroFish ever did on the last map. They are going to take out this Mauga more than likely, even with the cage. Oh, the Bap actually being very clutch here. However, Kiri also coming in clutch with her ultimate. Here comes the Bob. Is it in a good spot to find any picks? It's looking at Sigma, probably the worst possible pick it could look at. It is going to get it eventually, but 27-7, that is a 20-point lead for Blazing Magi, and this is a blistering fast pace for the squad. Can they secure the dub? Ash gonna take out the Genji, Torb gonna take out the Bap, Mauga gonna take out Torb, so a little bit of a trade there, but man, it is looking so good for Blazing Magi. They are only 8 kills away. In fact, the lead is so massive on this point. They are like, what is that, 4 times as many kills? Okay, well, that went away quickly. Baptiste able to pick up Ash. Genji getting flashbanged, and he's gone. Only 6 kills needed here for Blazing Magi to secure the second map in the series and make this game a 1-1. So I was thinking that a huge advantage was to be had for MicroFish on these deathmatch maps, but maybe it was literally just the difference in tank matchups we got, because Sigma obviously a lot worse of a pick than Roadhog. Ramatra slightly worse than Roadhog, so it does make sense how the narrative shifts so drastically from map to map. Only 4 more kills remaining here for Blazing Magi. It's hard to believe they won't get them before the kills from MicroFish come through here. So yeah, only 2 kills left. Blazing Magi are going to tie this thing up 1 apiece. Maybe we're going to head into some more interactive maps here, where we'll really start to see if these teams are shining or not. But 1-1 apiece. Good start to this series. Looks very close so far. The team with the Hog won both death matches, so we'll have to see where we go from there. A little bit silly. Could be another death match, though. We'll have to see. Hoping it's not. Hoping we go to something a little bit more unique. But, you know, could be. Okay, so we're going to go to a Koth. Been a little bit since we've seen Antarctic Peninsula, I think. Have to see how Blazing Magi and MicroFish match up here, as this series is already 1 apiece. Like I said, this matchup's going to be highly tank dependent. Whoever gets the better tank bot, I feel like, is going to win a lot of these because of how even these teams actually seem in these fights so far. Ramatra versus Winston, that is a big advantage for Blazing Magi, I believe. Winston, not as good as the Rom. That is a good role for my squad. See if we can start to take over this series. I really want to. I'm really hoping my squad does take over this series. We'll have to see, though. Right here, right now, Blazing Magi tied with MicroFish 1 apiece in map score. Going to Antarctic Peninsula for this 3rd map. Whoever wins this is going to have a huge advantage in the series. They'll go up 2-1. And they'll only be 1 map away from victory, so whoever wins this is going to be on match point. Let's see how this goes. Genji going in pretty deep. He is going to get punished severely by Rom. Torb going to set up that turret, and looks like Blazing Magi hold giant edge in this one. Cassidy going to kill 3 at the end of that fight. And the percentage starts building for the Blazing Magi. Like I said, Ramatra, just a huge benefit over Winston here. Presents a big advantage for Blazing Magi to start this one. See if they do swap off that Winston. Comes the Dynamite. He's mostly going to get zoned out here. Ash getting very low. She's going to fall. Torb able to pick off 1 in response. Junkrat getting very low on the side, but he's not going to fall, so MicroFish coming back in here. Going to dominate that fight. Completely different showing than what we saw in the first one. So Blazing Magi on the back foot a little bit here. They're going to have to get back into this one. Do still run that ROM. Junkrat just very clutch in that last fight. Getting a ton of picks. slow field, not exactly getting a whole lot here. I'm going in pretty deep. Ash gonna find Bap. Some trades though. Kiri gonna go down. Genji gonna be traded. Torb getting very low. However, he's still alive. And with that little bit of life, they will eventually clean this up. So Blazing Magi still ahead on percentage. And they're gonna start racking up some more here. So MicroFish looking to get back into this one. They have that Rip Tire online. They're building up to a Blade. However, on the other side, almost every ult from Cass, Torb, and Ramatra available here, so we'll see how much that affects this next fight. Here comes the High Noon, going to actually force out everything. Winston gonna fall here. The High Noon, funnily enough, counteracting that Riptide. I don't think it's gonna. Oh, it did find the Cassidy, so I'd say the Winston is a little bit less of an impactful pick. Here comes the Ramatra ult, though, and it is going to help find a few kills here. However, wowza. Still going to win that fight from losing the Cassidy alone. Great fight win for MicroFish. And Blazing Magi only going to have to win one more fight. However, on the other side, you do have that Blade. You have the window. Multiple routes towards fight victories. So, have to see if Blazing Magi can make up for this. Really don't think they should have lost that last fight, but they just kind of crumbled under the pressure as Cassidy did find a pick. Here comes the Blade. Could be massive. Getting on this Kiri very early. She is going to fall. However, Mauga going to go down. That's a huge, huge pick for Blazing Magi, but not going to mean enough as Junkrat finding two. And that's going to be the fight. So Ash going to have the Bob against maybe the Cage, definitely the window. And Lava and Bob for Blazing Magi. So we'll see how this goes. Don't know if they're even going to use these ults though. Ramatra getting in very early. Is going to fall. Unfortunately, so is Kiri, and that's just going to be a MicroFish able to take this first point. Ash not using her Bob. Man, I feel like we really shouldn't have lost one of those fights, but it is what it is. Cassidy died to that Rip Tire. Very unfortunate way. Alright. Gonna be locking the Hog now. I'm getting so tired, guys. Okay. Alright, time to see how much the Hog will change things here. Hog gonna be able to dish out a lot more damage than Ramatra, I think. Alright, so Winston gonna go in a little bit early. He does break the hook. I don't know what just happened there. There's like almost a bug or something. Bap gonna be the first of all. Genji gonna go down next, and Winston gonna fall after, and okay. That was a very clean teamfight victory for Blazing Magi. They do, unfortunately, now need to win 2 points in a row to go up in this series, and MicroFish only need to win one of these last two, so a lot of work here for my squad if we want to get this done. Of course, completely non-biased casting. What is going on? MicroFish kind of just staggering in. I'm not too sure what they're doing, but this is going to result in a lot of percentage build for Blazing Magi as the last two members of MicroFish just kind of stagger in there. So, about 40% built off of just one fight because of how long MicroFish are taking to get back in here. Oh my word, what are they doing? 50% and counting here for MicroFish even really get back in. So about half the point is given over, and another fight very quickly going to go in Blazing Magi's favor, and this is just going to be the second point, so we're probably going to the third point. I don't see a world in which MicroFish get back into this point now, but maybe. Looks like Winston is going to go in a little bit early again and die, so yeah, that is just going to be the second point. And Blazing Magi are going to tie this thing up at 1 apiece. Yeah, that was just a brutal stagger 2 times in a row, and that's it. So that's all it takes. Only really 2 team fight victories there for Blazing Magi. This is going to win them this point because of some brutal staggers on the side of MicroFish. So maybe a lot easier to win this one than I was initially thinking. This one is for all the marbles. Whoever wins this will be going up to match point. And the loser will be in a much more rough spot, and that swap to Doomfist is not what you want to see if you're MicroFish. That is brutal. I mean, maybe it could work out. It might be a little bit better than the Winston. Will at least do a little bit more damage, so maybe that's what they need here. Have to see though. Hog going to maintain on the side of Blazing Magi, and whenever we have that Hog, we're in a much better place. See if Blazing Magi can win this point and the map. Set us up for match point, and then we only have to win 1 more map after this, so if we can pull that off, we're in a pretty good spot. We'll have to see though. Big hook coming out onto this Baptiste. Can we finish the kill? We do. So Kiri getting very low, but she's able to mostly disengage, and 2 for 2 trade. However, Torb going to be able to pick up another one, and Doom going to be the only one left. He's going to fall, and Blazing Magi going to cap this point first. It's a huge advantage to have. Going to start building that percentage. Can MicroFish get in for another fight, or are they going to do the same thing they did on the last point? Hindered them greatly. Doomfist going in a little bit early. Okay, they will regroup, so this time around, going to be better for MicroFish here. Last time they got split up and staggered and just trickled in. It was not ideal. Mauga going in a little bit early. He's going to get hooked. However, he does have that second hard on, so he will survive for a bit longer. Although Bap falling, and then Mauga going down, and that is just going to be curtains here. I think this is just going to be a 2-1 map score for Blazing Magi, and we'll be going up 2-1 in this series as well. We'll see here though. And then all Blazing Magi will have to do is win 1 more map, and they will hold the series dub over this MicroFish squad. I'm going to take a little bit of effort here. Ash getting stuck on that trap. However, she does take out the Junkrat from the trap. Cassidy going to go down. Torb able to trade off the Genji though. And Doomfist going to fall. All that's left is Mauga and Bap on this point. However, Mauga and Bap getting some kills here, so very winnable actually. Kiri going to be able to take out the Bap though, keeping her Roadhog alive now. It's a 2v1 on point. Kiri and Hog doing work at the moment. Genji going to come in here, and that's going to finally clean up this fight. Cassidy going to stagger out for a little bit longer, but he is on the payload, so he at least will get us more percentage. I do believe Ash and Torb need to back out, though. Please back out. Please, 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 please. Just back. Thank you. Ash getting a little bit of poke before she... Nope, she's going to go back in. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Please back up, Ash. Thank you, Ash. Big poggers, Ash. Okay, so now some ultimates online for both squads here. We'll see how this goes. Roadhog just kind of going pretty deep in here. Lots of ult invest, but Genji gonna get taken out. Here comes a high noon. What are you doing, Cass? You bold man. He's gonna die for that, unfortunately. It looks like huge advantage so far for MicroFish. They are going to use a lot of ults there. Fortunately, we used 2. They used 4, though. So, Blazing Magi giving themselves quite a good chance at winning this next one. Hopefully. We do have the Torb ultimate as well as the Hog. I'm hoping we get something done here. Please. 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 I just want to win. So a tank for a deep support for a support, but Bob is here, baby. And Bob we trust. Gonna be 2 tanks versus 2 DPS, but there's a Bob on play, and that's gonna be Blazing Magi taking point and probably map. That's gonna be map. Oh, thank goodness. I think we barely do it right here. I don't think Genji gets the touch. Nope, nope, he does not get touch. Nope, nope, not allowed, not allowed, not allowed, not allowed. Okay, so Blazing Magi just barely able to make that happen. Oh my gosh. I'm fighting for my life right now, but we are up 2-1 in this series. We have a chance at closing this out as a 3-1. I'm hoping that happens. I'm praying. I wanna be in the playoff hunt, guys. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna go to a death match again. Oh boy. Okay. So as we know, MicroFish started this match off with a win on deathmatch. We went to the second deathmatch, and Blazing Magi won that one, and then a Koth, and Blazing Magi won that one. So now we are headed to yet another deathmatch. 3 deathmatches in this series. Have to see if Blazing Magi can pull one off here. I'm really hoping for another good tank. It's like gambling every game, man. Okay. See what we end up with here. Probably just going to read the tanks immediately. So they end up with a Rom. We end up with a Rom. Rom for Rom. So this is just going to be raw. Our roster versus your roster. See which roster comes out with a deathmatch win, essentially. If the Roms have 0 impact, that is. Cassidy 4 BAP. Kiri 4 Torb. Or Kiri and Torb going down. So great start here for MicroFish. 4-1. Unfortunately, I think these closed corridors are going to favor MicroFish quite a bit. So unfortunate for me, this could very well go to a map 5. Kiri getting very low. She does back off though. There's so many fights going on all over the place. Mauga gonna fall. Cassidy gonna find that Genji. Torb gonna find Junkrat. So a lot of isolated 1v1s going Blazing Magi's way. Eventually going to pass up MicroFish 6-5 here. Junkrat gonna go down to Cass. Kiri gonna get the Mauga, and here comes Rom gonna get on this Genji, picking him off. And Ashe able to take out the Baptiste, and this is looking very good for Blazing Magi. They are suddenly firmly in the lead here, 11-5. Mauga gonna finish off the Cass, however, his teammate going down around him. Mauga getting very low, he's gonna fall. Able to find Torb and the Ashe though, with the Junkrat and the Bap. Junkrat doing absolute work here, keeping his squad alive in this one. A 3-point difference is all that separates them. Cassidy gonna figure out the junk though. Can Cassidy do much else though? He does have a Genji on his cheeks, and he's very low. Kiri's gonna try to come save him, but I don't think that's gonna be enough as the rest of the squad is on him. So very good job so far from both squads. They're gonna leave the Ashe alive there. Might have been a little bit of a mistake. They could have finished that off. Here comes the Riptire. Do they finish this Riptire off? No, so we'll get the Rom. Trades going one of each way though. Craziness. 18-13. Blazing Magi hold a slight lead in this one, but it's so close. And Torbjorn going to fall 18-16 here. Ramatra able to take out the other number, but man, this is 19-17. And Ramatra just kind of wasted his ult. However, Cass able to pick up one. Here comes the High Noon. That's going to zone out plenty. Torb getting very low. He does help take out the Mauga, though. 3-point lead here for Blazing Magi. They're going to extend that to 4. Really just trying to keep pace with this really tough MicroFish squad. Ash going to be able to remove Baptiste. Cassidy going to remove the Junkrat. And Blazing Magi just slowly but surely fighting towards what they hope will be a victory. But it's so close. Ash able to take out Genji. Ash able to take out Ramatra. Ash has been doing so much for my team. Now we're going to go down 8 kill difference in this one. It is so close, though. I've seen multiple times where it looks like MicroFish could just absolutely run it back. Here comes Bob. Gonna be actually in a good spot here. Not gonna get wasted completely. He's gonna help bring the Mauga to his knees. Gonna help bring the Bap out and the Junkrat, and that is a huge Bob, as it does help maintain this lead and extend it to 11. And Blazing Magi, I think we're just gonna do it. Ash actually just the GOAT of this matchup, man. She has been popping off. Only 6 kills, make that 5, and Blazing Magi might just have a 3-1 on their hands if they can just pull it together here. Ash absolutely popping off on this map. She has been the GOAT, and I think this is fair to say it's pretty much what would happen in an even matchup between these two squads, because Ramatra versus Ramatra means both sides have it fair. Torb able to remove one more. Only 3 kills needed for Blazing Magi. Can they get these last 3 kills? Junkrat going to go down to the Torb. Ramatra probably going to fall here. However, all Blazing Magi need is 2 more kills to secure this series. However, 3 kills suddenly go the way. Okay, one more. Ash absolutely clutching up. Only 1 kill needed for Blazing Magi to secure the series. On the other side, 10 kills needed for the side of... Oh, they're all going to spawn together, though. Bap kind of getting spawned on, and that will be it. Torb finishing off the map and the series. Blazing Magi win this one 3-1. Feels good. I was sweating the entire time. Good match, MicroFish. Can't wait for our second matchup later in the season. This does mean that I am simply going to a 0-0 minus, or not 0-0, 2-2 record with a -1 map differential, and that is enough for me to be in second place and never back down. But I don't care. I'm taking those. Okay? We go next. Actually, that's the end of the week. See you guys next week.